Hello, everyone. Hello, friends. So, right now we're going to be talking about a very interesting topic, which is web research. So, as you all know, web research is something that is actually a foundational skill for every virtual assistant. As a matter of fact, it's one of the first few skills that you should be able to acquire before deciding to actually move up in the freelancing journey. So, I've been a digital brand manager for a social selling company in the UK, Surrey, UK specifically, for 5 years. And one of the best or one of the greatest assets of a virtual assistant working for the social selling company is your foundational skill of being able to do and conduct web research. And web research is not just simply, going to search engines or like going to Bing or and then plugging in whatever keyword you think would be appropriate. There is a level of sophistication in there in identifying or like zooming out what needs to be done, what needs to be accomplished. And then after that, also understanding if it's the right platform to find the right answers on your questions and things like that. So, our goal for this particular session is to actually unlock the more than the basics of web research, to actually look into the different foundations of web research, tools that we could actually use, looking into the privacy law, CRAAP test, and the essentials of citing sources. So let's talk about basic search, right? And later on, I'm actually going to do some form of like demos to sort of like walk you guys through the process of doing a basic search. So basic search is more of like understanding what's the process or what's the first thing that you would actually do when a certain task, a research task, is handed to you. For example, I'm gonna ask you guys to search for 100 SK officials in the Philippines. Where would you find them? What exactly is the first platform that you would search for? And what particular keywords are you going to use to eventually find the contact information of these SK leaders? So, if we go to a certain demo here, for example, if we try to zoom out, if I was the one doing the search, I would probably go to LinkedIn and then try to find people who would put themselves in a position of SK official. So I would actually just say SK or something like Sangguniang Kabataan. I'm not sure if that's the correct spelling. Um, and then probably I would add something like a leader or elected official. But then, if you look into the results, you would actually find that there are a lot of interesting results here. There's this chairperson at SK from Davao and many other results here. Take note that we have to be very careful about the data that we are actually getting from these searches. All of these are assumed to be public information anyway because they are appearing on the search and we're just casually searching. But if you actually handle information, take note that you're an instrument to handling that particular information. And if you're handling it wrong and handed it over to a malicious entity, you guys will be part of the process of handling the data, and suing can actually be could actually be ensued, you know. So that's a sample of a basic search within LinkedIn, and we're not doing anything like advanced filtering or things like that. But then we could also do something similar in Twitter. Let's try to look for SK officials, or let's say someone like SK official. Let's try to find someone who actually recognize himself as an SK official and put it out in his profile. So we'll look for people and then see if they're actually active in Twitter. So we kind of have to be a little more patient here because my internet connection is quite slow. Yeah, we could actually find a bunch, but it's actually mixed up with all the other searches. So then you would actually use the Boolean strings that we are actually going to discuss in a little, um, in a few. Okay, we go back to our slides and we are gonna be here in. So that's an example of the basic search, and I want you guys to understand that that's exactly just how trying to zoom out where exactly will those people you're looking for be found, or if you're not particularly looking for people but for companies, where will those companies be more likely found? Like if I try to think of SK, I'm probably gonna think about maybe they are in Facebook, but also they are probably also be in LinkedIn, and they probably also mention that they're an SK official in their LinkedIn profiles, but not all of them, but at least a reasonable number of them, you know. So that's zooming out before actually doing an actual search. But then the second thing we also have to understand is that there's a difference between regular search and meta engines. You know, we're talking about regular search engines. We can talk about Bing, Yahoo, or Google. But the other thing, like other platforms, are called meta engines, and meta engines are a bit more specific, and they're more of like a deep learning, you know, because um, they kind of sift through a little deeper into the data that it's able to crawl. So a good example of that would be web crawler, and then we also have Yippee, Brain Boost, and Kintura. But let's take these three examples very quickly. So web crawler, for example, if we go to webcrawler.com, what it does is that it's not just sifting through data from Google. It actually sifts across data from different search engines like Bing and Yahoo. So for example, I stock my name and I would actually just type Gabelionis. Then the data that I would actually get is not just data from Google, but a combined data of everything that's been on the web, including that results from Yahoo and Bing and Safari. So that's a clear example of what I would actually get if I search my name as a keyword in web crawler. Let's go through the second example. Let's go to yippee.com. Yippee is actually made by IBM, and then the algorithm learning for this is actually powered by Watson, which is an AI. So let's try to look for digital marketing agencies. So then that's a very broad keyword. It's not, there's no okay, you know what? I'm not gonna do some kind of like quotation marks or phrases here yet, just because we're not in a Boolean strings yet. But if we click on search, what Yippee does is a very amazing way of clustering things out. So you could actually see in the left here, there's search engines, advertising agency. If I click on a little dipper, there's a best digital marketing agencies. Then what it does is it actually segments the results based on what it actually thinks is most appropriate on what you're actually looking for. So that's the second one. Let's go to the third one, which is brainboost.com. What BrainBoost does is it actually tries to answer whatever question you have in mind. So you could just pop in whatever question you have there, and then it will try to come up with an answer. So for example, I could just ask something like, what is the best TV show right now? And then it will come up with an answer. And then there's like an upvote and downvote and things like that. So this is also like a great meta engine to think about. Now we go back to our slides and let's talk about advanced search. Now advanced search is one of the most powerful tools that search engines could actually have, because, and it's not just search engines, it's also an advanced search feature that's available in Facebook, in LinkedIn, and Twitter. So it's a feature that you could actually unlock to be able to speed up the process of looking for answers. And these uses Boolean strings, like for example, and. So if you type in, let's just say we go to Google News, and then we're going to let's just go to Google first. So digital marketing, and content marketing. So then I use the word "and." What it signifies is the togetherness of those two words. So I would want to get results of content marketing, but then at the same time I would also want results on digital marketing. So usually the content that I would get would be content marketing versus digital marketing, meaning it actually captures the two phrases or the two words. Actually, those are phrases, two phrases that I'm trying to target here because I haven't put the quotation marks yet. But the second string I'd want you to understand is quotation marks, and what that basically means is the exact phrases. So, for example, I would want to actually, look for digital marketing agency. You know what? We could just actually swap this with services. So, and then put in quotation mark, and then add maybe a plus sign, and then Philippines. What this basically means is that digital marketing services, as per quoted here, is actually the exact term that couldn't be broken up. And then, well, obviously, there's only one word there, one other word there, which is Philippines. So, if we try to actually enter the return key, we would actually get the exact this one, the exact keywords that I actually put in the search engine. So digital marketing services, and it's being highlighted in the results here. So the other thing with the next one would be or, and what or means is it accepts a couple of words. So you would actually just say digital marketing services, but if it's not present, then I could just actually say something like or content marketing, meaning whatever result there is, like either or. If one of this actually pops up, that's okay. If one of this is mentioned in a publication, that's okay. So you see that in the first result, digital marketing services is not here, but then content marketing is here, and that's why it is in the results, because it's an or. Just pick one and it's going to pop up. Minus from the word itself, it excludes a word. So digital marketing services minus content marketing, anything that mentions content marketing would be excluded from the results. That's kind of like straightforward. And then plus is something that you can actually also use if you want different variations of a certain word. Like for example, content plus marketing, and then it means because it's going to capture contents, or actually that doesn't really make sense because there's no word, there is no plural for contents, just content actually. And then content marketing, maybe like marketings. I don't know how Google would actually do that, but what I'm trying to say here is that the plus sign is supposed to give you different variations of a single word, of a certain word. So that's the Boolean approach to searching. But then if you don't want to remember all of these things, you can just go through the search settings and then the tools. Oops, I clicked on the wrong one. The tools, and then just click, the anytime, past hour, past 24 hours, you can customize range. And then you can also click all results. But then if you click on search settings here, wait, I'm actually clicking on the wrong one. So wait, let me just clear that up, and then look for advanced search. Yeah, this is the correct one. So find pages with all these words, content marketing, this exact word or phrase, any of these words. So you know what, everything that I've been doing before I actually went to here, it's all in here. So you know what, you can just explore how to do this if you just want something like digital marketing, this exact word or phrase, I want this marketing services, then you don't have to remember that you have to use a code, right? So your life is going to be easier if you just go to advanced search. But then, not everyone is actually going to go to advanced search right away. They would just make their lives easy and plug in whatever keyword in there, and then use whatever the first result is in the search results page. Let's go through the next slide. The CRAAP test. What a CRAAP test basically does is it allows you to look into a certain source and have some form of basic assessment of whether that particular source is actually credible or not. And C is for currency, timeliness of the information. You want to make sure that the article you're reading or the website that you're looking into is actually updated. The information in there is not a decade old, And then relevance is the importance of the information for your needs. Like if you're looking for the top 100 resorts in the Philippines, then any resort that is located in Brazil is actually irrelevant. Authority, the source of the information. If you are actually reading an information and this is a crucial information, but then the source of this information is not credible, then you will have to double think about whether you should actually just share that or cite that particular source. And then another A is accuracy, the reliability, truthfulness, and correctness of the content. A lot of the content that goes through publications before actually go through a peer review network, but now since everybody could actually just post something online, anyone could just become like a source of information, a source of truth. So you have to look into who is actually saying that, but then cross verify that against a reliable source of truth, so you get a veracity of the information and the credibility of that particular piece of information. And then lastly would be the purpose, like the reason the information exists. Why is this information in there? Is it meant to inform? Is it meant to teach? Or is it meant to actually trick you, to play coy and things like that? So that's the CRAAP test. And every information that you actually read online, whether it be a source, whether it be like you're looking for SK leaders, and then you always have to assess the CRAAP test, because there will always be some kind of like trolls, pretending to be someone who they aren't. There will always be, if you're looking for resorts, for example, the CRAAP test will allow you to actually look into, is this resort still existing or not, or still in operation or not. So this is a must for you guys to do in every information that you consume. Lastly and most importantly is to look into how to actually cite a source, and this is the format that we actually follow. Author, title of website, web address or URL, copyright date, date you found the information, and I put in an example in there for you guys to actually look into. But take note that it's not the case all the time. For certain websites, for example, and it's usually the small time websites, they could actually just cite sources on different ways, like photo source, and then just hyperlink the article. Another thing would be, or like the best way maybe, is to actually just look for articles that are copyright free. In the same way how you could actually find sources that photo sources that could actually be used for free, and on Splash and Pixabay and many other photo source tools or photo sharing tools. So that's basically it. That's the entire presentation about web research. It's just more of like a recap on everything. I want you guys to actually always take into account data privacy and take into account CRAAP test, because all of these things are going to safeguard you guys, and handling the data and also consuming the data, and also be effective when it comes to producing results for your web research tasks. So good luck, and I hope you guys learned something from this presentation.